Hey everybody, I had to bring you this because I just heard that there are consequences. Our favorite girl down in Texas, or down in Texas, well, wherever she's at, I don't know exactly where she's at, but this lady right here, say Miss Perkins here, found out she FA'd. You're gonna see why.
Activist by the name of Sadie Perkins has been fired from her Houston public sector board position after she went on a shocking racist tirade against innocent young victims of the Texas
Absolutely
floods.
good. I'm so happy that happened. Consequences. You can't be evil and not have consequences. Just before I let that play on, because we all know what she said. I don't want that. I don't want to listen to her say it again. But one, look at these tragic pictures.
After she was exposed, instead of
Children. She doubled down.
On her abuse with this unthinkable comment, saying, "Consequences for what? Maybe it was God's will to."
I won't let her finish that statement. Well, it'll cut it off, but that's disgusting that she would say that. God is watching you, Miss Perkins. Do better.
Wash them away. And again, Perkins still hasn't got the message that what she said is completely reprehensible. Her latest video proves she has no remorse.
By the way, shout out to Sky News.
Okay. She asked me for a statement. I gave her one.
She thinks she's cute, and it's not cute. She's disgusting. She's not even human.
Definitely funny because I'm up here kicking for sure. But
In one hand, it's kind of funny. No, it's not. These are children. What kind of evil person are you? Satan himself probably cringes.
hey, do not negate the fact, all right? These are white people using their white power, all right, to try to bring me down, I guess.
Bring you down? No, sweetie pie. You brought you down. You brought this all on you. You did this to you. Nobody else. So don't try to play the victim now. After what you said about those children, that they still haven't found all of them to this day, you brought this on yourself. You deserve everything that's going to happen. Because this is God paying you back. You don't talk that way about kids. Even if you felt their parents are idiots, you don't talk that way about children. They're innocent babies. Shame on you. Do better.
But the fact that it's just not working is even more hilarious.
Online commentators of all races
Thank you to this lady.
persuasions have come after Perkins.
You've lost your mind, and I think it's a real good idea for you to take a break from social media because there's no way. How dare you try to say or try to compare such a tragic,
Amen.
truly tragic situation to some fucking illegal immigrants.
Does anybody know who she is? Tell her I said thank you for having common sense. I absolutely love this lady. I don't know who she is, otherwise I'd look her up, but thank you for having common sense, ma'am.
Chose to break the law and brought their kids here, and now their kids are suffering the repercussions.
Amen.
This commentator agreed, saying, "Listen, I don't believe in cancel culture. However, I make exception for Sadie Perkins.
Amen.
The racism is on full display." She said that Camp Mystic was a white supremacy camp and that those girls got what they deserved. An absolutely horrible human. I'm absolutely shook that somebody can be this cruel. And this commentator doubled down, highlighting the pathological obsession with race on the left.
This is a perfect example of some of the people in our society who obsess with race. They think everything is
Yes,
race.
that is
Girls are
true.
dying and washed up in a flood, and her first thought is, what's like the racial demographic of the people who are missing this camp? It's pathetic. People like this are the people who forge and keep racial issues alive. She tells us that this camp only allows white girls, with no proof other than simply pictures. What if it's just simply white people primarily have been the ones that decide to go there? Different cultures do different things.
Amen. Amen.
There's
Thank
all
you for
those
having
people there that just
common
have
sense.
issues. I know it could be a crazy concept, but people with this mentality are the ones who are harming our country. They're not helping anyone. And
Yeah.
it's pathetic. Again,
Yes,
girls are dying.
that's
They're
true.
Swept up in a flood. And she's
Amen.
thinking, well, the people behind this, there's a lot of white people there. I'm not seeing much color, so they must be racist. And we need to know the context behind that.
No, we don't. We know that the children are missing. That's all we need to know.
Exposing her as the partner of the senior pastor of the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Houston. The church was forced to come out with a statement distancing themselves from Perkins and her comments.
Her own husband had to make a statement and distance himself from her. Her own husband. Why? Because she's a R word.
Her partner also condemned her comments.
This is what her husband said, okay? I want to be clear that I disavow her comments while she was not speaking on my behalf or on behalf of my congregation. I recognize that her comments have caused harm to many who are experiencing terrible loss and anxiety. I believe strongly that all people have inherent worthiness and dignity. Her comments were not in the spirit of the Unitarian Universalist values centered around love that my congregation and I share. Her husband at least seems to have common sense.
Saying, I want to be clear that I disavow
Okay, I just read that, but
Unitarian
absolutely.
Universalist values centered around love that my congregation
Yeah, I read that part. And this
is
lady.
safe and dry.
This lady.
Kerr County voted to gut
This lady ought to be worse ashamed. She's a pediatrician. Well, she was.
Hey, they deny climate change. May they get what they voted for. Bless their hearts. Online commentators blasted this woman as well, with this person saying she is heartless to wish bad for children because their parents may have supported Trump. I'm very happy that she was fired from her job. She should be ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems Dr. Cross
Amen.
was regurgitating the
Amen. Any pediatrician that would say that about children simply because their parents might have been Trump supporters, what kind of sick... I'm happy you're fired. Miss Perkins, I'm happy you're fired. Both of you ladies do better. And to points, there was one person who was Miss Perkins, and the pediatrician was quite clearly a different race. And I disavow both of them because both of them are disgusting human beings to say something like they've said over children, innocent children. Do better. Anyway, I just wanted to play that for you.
like Chuck Schumer, blaming Trump for the Texas flood.
Chuck Schumer, you haven't retired yet, dude. All the New York Democratic leaders do better.
So yesterday I asked for an investigation into what role, if any, the administration staff costs.
There was no role, if any, you dope. Just another Trump hater. Chucky Boy doesn't do anything for our great state. Chucky Boy should be retiring at this point. So, yeah. Mr. Schumer, come on, do better.
To local National Weather Service stations played in preparedness and response.
You did hear the report where the warnings were given several times throughout the day. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. So, Chuck Schumer, do better. You're wrong. But you've been wrong a lot lately, haven't you? So, people, do better. And to my peeps that always do better, thank you for having common sense. Officer Tatum, thank you for having common sense. Everybody who was talking out against that nonsense, thank you for having common sense. I appreciate you greatly. Peace, love, and happiness. And I will catch you on the flip. And to the people in Mexico City where there's been flash flooding going on. In Mexico, there's been flash floods. My prayers and thoughts go out to those victims and the families involved. And to the Texas floods, there are still children and adults missing. Prayers go out to you as well. And my heartfelt sympathy to the victims. God bless.